Hello, this is me again, Kwame Ajamu, talking about, it's really known as New African Traditionalism, but for purposes of commercialization and getting some of you to tune in, and in respect for our ancestors from down south, we call it New Afrikan HooDoo. But actually, New Afrikan HooDoo is something within New African Traditionalism. Basically, this whole thing came to me because I know a lot of us moving towards ATR or African traditional religions, those of us who consider ourselves black nationalists, new Africans, Africans in America, whatever you want to call us. We've moved towards traditional African religion. Me, myself, I got as far as having what was known as warriors in the Yoruba tradition. Those of you who are in that tradition will know what I'm speaking of. But in doing that, it came to me through inspiration and just thoughts that won't go away, and through divination and what have you. I've discovered that it is our New African Traditionalist ancestors, Egungun, whatever you want to call them, meaning our national ancestors, not just our blood lineage, but our national ancestors, being the Most High, the Most Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey, the Most High, Most Honorable Young Black Prince Malcolm Omowale Shabazz X. That in keeping with African tradition, instead of going back and taking on our past African ancestors, like if you will, Shango, Yemoja, Oya, and those from other tribes in Africa. What Africans did, the metaphysics of African tradition, was that when one nation split off from a larger nation, then those ancestors of that particular people that branched off became the object of reverence for the new people who were formed or being formed. I've had these ideas for years, going on 20 years, but there was a man, a priest, that most of you know. He's now deceased, and I give all reverence to him. His name was Kofi Metahochi Zanu, and I got to meet Kofi Metahochi Zanu first in the Yoruba house that I was a part of. And then I met him twice there, I believe. And then I met him again when I went to Atlanta looking for some friends of mine down there. I got to stay a week in a home that he was a guest in, and I had a lot of interesting conversations with him. Before I got a chance to really get deeply involved in his program, I came back here to Cleveland, and things happened, and I had his phone number. I used to call him Minnesota, but things happened. I didn't get a chance to link up with him. And about 10 years later or so, or maybe 7, 8 years later, he became deceased. He went to our ancestors in the ancestral realm. Before I do any of this, I have to say that I consider him New African Egungun par excellence, or New African Gungun Prime, numero uno, number one, because he's inspired lots of people. But I have to take it in the way that I'm inspired to take it. And being inspired by him is one thing, but I also have another vision of this. My vision of this is more linked up with what I guess you would call hoodoo, meaning it's not an initiatory thing or someone initiates you as they do in the African traditional religions, and as I believe that Baba Metahochi was doing, but it's more of, I guess, a thing that can be done, individually or what have you. But anyway, getting to it. Let me show you this shrine. Start off. By the way, the first video I got on YouTube, I did 2 years ago, so I may seem a lot smaller. I'm not on crack. I just lost 50 pounds. Okay. Actually, I was in the hospital with diabetes, and they couldn't bring my diabetes down. As I was in the hospital, I started thinking, what was I doing that I didn't do 15 years ago? I had quit smoking for 15 years. So, in meditation, the spirit came to me, and I wasn't necessarily possessed, but I was obsessed by it. This spirit believed in smoking a lot of cigars and cigarettes. I started puffing on cigars, what have you, lost 50 pounds. But anyway, before we start anything, the Most High Marcus Mosiah Garvey is our lead-in. I'm not going to do a full ritual here right now, but we first start with the Most High Marcus Mosiah Garvey, and then we move to whatever of our new African Egungun or past ancestors or past nationalist heroes that come to your mind. Second of all, we have what I call worker spirits, led by the black Seminole or the Seminole Indian, Creek Indian, who allied himself with runaway slaves known as Osceola. Now, when we deal with our worker spirits, we must first go through Osceola as the go-between and ask, and give him whatever offering, be it food, what have you, that he asked for, and then we can move on to Wildcat, John Horse, Abraham, as they called Negro Abraham back then, Chief Billy Bowlegs. Those are worker forces. Those are the forces who, when you need something done, my rent is due, somebody on my behind to get them off. These are, and this is not, again, this is not Yoruba, this is not any of the Congo tradition, this is our own thing that I guess is being brought to you through me. But Osceola, as he is called, and that's not his Indian name, it's actually, Asi Yahoah is an Indian name, or his Creek name, or Seminole name as they're known. That's the go-between when you want to get to any of the black Indians like John Horse, Negro Abraham, as they called him, and Wildcat. These are your worker spirits who go in and they go in and these I guess like what you call prayer warriors. They're warriors. They come in, well, we call them workers. They come in and they fight your spiritual battles for you. They fight your battles for you against things like sickness, early death, misfortune, poverty, these type of things. And be forewarned. I'm not giving you the whole thing here. If you want the whole thing, as I make these videos, I'll make it available to you for a donation. But these spirits do not work for white people. These spirits were at war with American civilization. They were at war with Andrew Jackson, General Andrew Jackson, who later on became president. These spirits will not work for white people, period. They're not like the Yorubas or these other spirits who you go and you pay somebody some money you get initiated to. If you deal with these spirits, and white people deal with these spirits, they will wreak havoc in your lives. These are for black people and for black nationalists. For black people who call themselves New Africans, black nationalists will have that kind of mindset. If you're a Negro, you know what I mean by that. All you want to do is get a degree and fit in the white man system. They may give you a little something, but they're going to smack you around too. These are for hardcore black nationalists, people who are not aligned themselves with the United States government, period. Alright, and what we do, first we get some cool water. We pour cool water, and we say, Spirit of cool water, freshen my hand, freshen myself. Protect me, protect my aura, protect my auric field, protect my spirit, my higher self, from outside negative intrusions, what have you. Then we do a libation. We say, Spirit of cool water, protect, cool down the negative energies in my house, cool down the negative energies in my family, cool down the negative energies for my friends, what have you, socially. Next thing we do, we make this food offering. You see here I got some sweet potatoes. Can you get a close up on this?